This is war. Like, I feel like I've been at a war inside of my van. I swear, like, I got rid of like 60 of them today, and they just keep coming. I have set up both of my traps. An update on the bug situation. It's getting out of control. Oh my god, look at this mess. I just woke up like half an hour ago, maybe 40, I don't know. And you know what? My van has a leak. I had my water pump off for most of the day yesterday just because I was not actively in my van a lot, and I keep it off when I leave my van just for safety purposes, and it's a good thing that I did because my van probably would have flooded with water. Last night when I got back into my van, I had my water pump on and I heard it go on twice, but I wasn't sure. So I checked under the bed and I didn't see anything. I quickly checked under the sink. I didn't see anything, but I kept the water pump off as I slept just in case. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, let me test the water pump. So I turned the water pump on, and the water pump should not be on unless I'm actively using the water on this with the sink faucet. And I turned the water pump on and it was like just like constant. Like, I've never heard it like that before. So I'm like, shit. So I turned it off and I heard just all of this water leaking out under the sink. I turned the water pump back on to discover where the leak is coming from, and basically I have this filter here, and the leak is coming out of the top of the filter, and this is like a new filter I just put in like last week, so it's weird that it's acting up now and not earlier, but whatever. I have some supplies here. I'm gonna try to fix this because to be honest, I'm really thirsty. So this is the piece that's leaking. It's this top portion. Oh, I see. It's put on crooked. Yeah, the top is not put on properly, so that's where the leak's coming from, but now I can't open it to fix it. I have a spare filter in my van's garage, so I'm gonna go get that one instead and use it as a backup. Okay, so this is my spare filter. This is the one I had in my van like last week. This one has, you can see like water stains on the top because this one had a little bit of a leak, and I just preferred the filter, like the filtering aspects of the one I currently had installed. So that's the one I was using instead, but this one's gonna have to go back in for now. Filters installed. I'm gonna try to turn the water back on now. I'm gonna turn on the water pump. No leaks. So I'm on my way to Home Depot. I also just finished at the grocery store. I just got some apple cider vinegar And at Home Depot, I'm going to be getting a gnat trap because my van is really having some fly issues. There's these tiny, tiny little black flies, and I have no idea where they're coming from. Like, obviously they're coming from the outside, but they must be breeding somewhere in my van because it started out with like a handful. I would see a handful a day. I swear it's been a few weeks, and now I swear like I got rid of like 60 of them today, and they just keep coming. And I first noticed them in my composting toilet, so I have a feeling that maybe they're attracted to the moisture in there. Maybe they're living in there, breeding in there, and then they escape out, and then they just like to cling onto my windows. But it's really disgusting, and it's feeling very unhygienic. So, oops. So I'm gonna try these two traps because I know fruit flies are seduced by the apple cider vinegar, but then gnats are more attracted to a yellow light wavelength, whatever. So I'm gonna try these two traps and see which one works to get rid of them. So after I install these two traps tonight, I'm gonna empty my composting toilet. I already did that and the issue is still there. So I don't know, I'll empty it again, try to get rid of the eggs and larvas and stuff that are inside. Smells like cigarettes.
Representatives of the Soviet Space Agency Roscosmos are arriving in Houston today to work with NASA on their now combined mission, as their former rivals have become unexpected partners.
So I have set up both of my traps. I have my apple cider vinegar trap over there, and then I have my sticky gnat trap over here, and then I'll update you later in the week if any of the traps are working. Also need to recheck my toilet vent outside because I think that's originally how they got into the van, was through my toilet vent outside, because I'm using this mesh screen material to block the opening of my toilet vent. So basically the composting toilet vents to the outside. The screen material on the outside of that vent that leads to the outside, the whole purpose of it, of course, is prevent bugs from climbing through the pipes and coming into my van and laying their eggs into my composting toilet. But these flies are so small, they just go right through the mesh. I have since put another double layer of mesh on top of the mesh I already have. I have to double check it again, but I think that should prevent more from coming inside. But I did that a few days ago and the issue is getting worse. I think they're just like breeding in here. Oh man.
That's what I was kind of afraid of.
Okay, an update on the bug situation. It's getting out of control. So pretty much I set up two traps, okay? I got this, what is this? Sticky gnat tape from Home Depot, $10. Comes with 10 sticky leaves, and it comes with little sticks for the sticky leaves to prop up on. I thought maybe that they would be drawn to the leaves themselves, but it doesn't seem like they are. They would not crawl on these. So then I attached the leaves to the windows because I noticed that they are so drawn to the windows. They don't care about food, I've noticed. I had the apple cider vinegar trap out for like a whole day, a whole night. It didn't catch any of these bugs, but they are so drawn to the windows, and they're not drawn to food. Like, they're not in my sink, they're not on my dishes. They don't care about the apple cider vinegar, they just love the windows. So I stuck these sticky leaves to the parts on the window where they were crawling. And I left my van for today for about 7 hours, and I came back, and the amount of bugs that these caught, I'm gonna show you. It's like really, really disgusting. Like, there's a serious issue in here because I'm like, they must be hiding in here. They must be breeding in here, but I don't know where they're coming from. Because if they're breeding inside of my composting toilet, I don't know how they're getting out, and I don't know where they're hiding in order to get to the windows. Like, when I left my van, how is this amount of bugs somehow escaping my toilet and migrating to the windows? Like, I don't know where they're hiding all day. I don't know where they're breeding. Probably inside the toilet. Like, I opened up the toilet this morning and it was like a party in there. Okay, they were swimming in my pee. They were like having a dance party in my poo. It's like, even when I emptied out my composting toilet, that was not enough. I think I need to bleach everything in there. This is like so disgusting, but I noticed that they're all in that top corner, so that's how many I caught there. And then I have these ones, and then I have one down here, and then this window I have another. Let me give you an update on the fly situation. Gnat situation? I don't know what they are, but yesterday I cleaned my entire composting toilet. I took the solid bin out, I took the pee jug out, I bleached the pee jug, rinsed out with bleach, and I removed the solids bin, bleached it, rinsed it with water, emptied out the old solids, and put in some new coconut coir. And while both the solids bin and the pee jug were out, I cleaned the whole inside with bleach. I tried to get into every single nook and cranny that I possibly could, just to make sure if there were any eggs laying around. I tried to bleach them and get rid of them with paper towel. I think I went through like a whole bottle of bleach spray, and I went through like a whole roll of paper towel, just trying to get everything as clean as I possibly could, really trying to eliminate any eggs that could be in there. Came across so many dead flies. Like, that was definitely where they were living and breeding, and then somehow they were getting out of the toilet and going into the rest of my van, which is really disgusting. And I actually looked up what flies eat, and it turns out that they actually eat feces. And that is just so disgusting to just have them living in there, having their little babies, having sex in there, and then they're flying around my van. And it's really gross. And I'm getting like, I was getting really paranoid falling asleep at night. Like, I don't want them crawling on me as I sleep. The toilet has not been this clean since I first purchased it. I look inside and I'm like, wow, it's so clean in there. I put one of the sticky fly traps inside of the toilet, so that way I can keep an eye on if there's flies beginning to breed in there again, because I cleaned it about 24 plus hours ago now, maybe 28 hours ago, and when I check the sticky fly trap in there, there's no flies on it. So I think when I emptied and cleaned everything out, I got rid of all the flies that were in there. I hope I got rid of any eggs that could have been in there, so I hope they don't hatch and start breeding in there again. Since I cleaned it out yesterday, I've seen maybe like 2 in my van compared to like seeing like 40, 50 in here a day. Now that I got rid of the bulk of them, I need to focus on making sure that they don't come back. So I have some methods in place. Every time I use my solids bin, I'm going to sprinkle diatomaceous earth. That's what I was using before. When I was trying to get rid of this issue a few weeks ago, I was sprinkling diatomaceous earth in my solids bin every time after I used it. And what that does is it's really sharp for the flies. So when they crawl on it, it kills them. And that was keeping the problem under control, but I was still seeing flies around the van. The second I ran out of diatomaceous earth and I stopped using it because I ran out, and I'm like, you know what, the fly issue isn't that bad. A few days later, I had like, I think I killed like 60 in here in one day. I still need to go buy more diatomaceous earth, so I'm gonna go do that tonight after every single time I use it. Or if the diatomaceous earth gets a bit wet, I'm just going to top it up and make sure that there's fresh, dry diatomaceous earth in my solids bin laying on the top of it, so that if new flies do come in, they will get killed by the DE. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a finer mesh for my composting toilet vent. There's a little venting tube that leads from the inside of the toilet to the outside of my van. Yeah, as I explained before, the mesh is not fine enough. I have to order this new mesh. It's specifically a very, very, very fine type of mesh where no CM flies or gnats or fruit flies, the really tiny, tiny flies, they cannot go through the mesh. I have 3 layers of mesh on it now. I don't know if that's enough still because the holes are really big, and the baby flies, I've seen them, they are very tiny, so even the baby flies can still get through. And I'm really not wanting all of this hard work that I did cleaning out the toilet for 2 hours. I don't want it all to go to waste just for new flies to come in. Third thing is keeping these traps in my van, so the one in my toilet, my ones on the windows, so that if there are any new flies coming in, they're getting stuck on the traps. This is war. Like, I feel like I've been at a war inside of my van, you know? Me against the flies. But I will win this war. I think that's it. I think that's really all I can do at this point. Anyway, I went bouldering yesterday. I don't feel too sore. I'm like a little bit sore, but I feel like I have some energy in me to do some more, so I might spontaneously head over to the bouldering gym and do some bouldering tonight. That was so much fun. I don't know why when I wear clothing like this it gives me such confidence, but I went bouldering alone, spur of the moment, and I was so strong today. This is only my 3rd time trying it. This year, last time I went was 3 years ago, and the first day I went last week, I think I completed like a bunch of level 1s and maybe like one level 2. I went yesterday, I completed 2 level 2s. I went today, I completed 4 level 2s, and I even completed 2 of the ones that I was trying to do yesterday and I couldn't. And I just felt so strong and so confident today. I just climbing those walls. Oh my god, this gray tank smells like shit. The gray tank smells like shit.